You know, I'm beginning to think that this fantasy thing is a trap because it doesn't really matter how good you do. You're always still mad about it. You're still like, you can't just take the good moments for what they are. Is Tomac any good or just lucky? God. You know, that's a great question. That's actually a really good question. I guess my biggest hang up on it is that I kind of agree with you. Like, it's not like he's not doing well, but when he gets wins, when things happen, it's because everything else fell out of his way. Because his first win, so he has 3, right? Everybody expects him to win Daytona. That's not a big thing. But his first one of the season and his most recent one of the season happened exclusively because of all people. Chase Sexton crashed and went out. Can you come get the cat? I just don't know. I don't know, man. Like, he should have 1 win this season. And again, like, there's something to be said about being one of the guys that stays on the track. And you can't deny that. Like, Eli has done a good job in his career. And really, this is something we can talk about it. We can talk about this for all facets of the sport. You know, it's a shame that J Mart and Alex Martin and, you know, Faulkner and Jordan Smith and RJ Hampshire and all these guys are out, but that's part of the sport, is knowing how far you can ride on edge while staying on 2 wheels. And that's something that the 450 guys, at least the guys at the front, do. So we have to give Tomac something for, it's not his fault when guys like Sexton, young guys, things like that, weed themselves out. That's not his fault. But it's still definitely something. Is defending champion Tomac good? A good question. Well, I mean, like, is he as good as he looks this year? Like, I don't know, man. Would you say Tomac winning a single race this year, which is where we very likely could be? I don't know. McAdoo looks like Chad. Is it the bike? Is it Pro Circuit? Is that the problem? I can console anyone today. I picked my teams, and then 2 hours before the deadline, I took out Thrasher for Owen. I never had Thrasher on my team, but I did have Owen. So we can look at... I don't know if the stats are up yet. I always hate it because I don't want to refresh this, because if I refresh it and Marks doesn't have the thing approved yet, then, like, I can't get back to this screen. It's not up yet. Okay, we'll just wait. Yeah, no, but I agree. McAdoo, but to be fair, Chad, like, McAdoo, this is how McAdoo has always rode. Like, this isn't unusual, I guess. What is it with Pro Circuit gravitating towards these kind of guys? Like, even Justin Hill, who is not a make it or break it kind of guy, his personality, his mental game was make it or break it. Oh, I don't know. I asked on Twitter, and I'll ask you guys here again. Do you think that this 250 class is one of the best rookie 250 classes we've ever had? Or does it just look that way because there's so many guys missing? I mean, realistically, do we see Styles Robertson lead almost an entire race? Do we see Thrasher win? Do we see Hammaker win? Like, do we see these guys up on the podium if Smith, the Martin brothers were still in it? You know, on the other side of the coast, like Joe Shimoda looks really good. He's not a rookie, to be fair. This is his 2nd year, but still. If we didn't have Hampshire out and Faulkner out, and it's really hard to tell. I don't really like the daytime racing either. The whole vibe is wrong. Like, even the broadcast, the vibe is just weird. I don't know how to describe it other than it's just weird. It just doesn't feel the same. And it's not just like the crowd, because I know the crowd sizes are low, but it just doesn't, I don't know. The volume, the sounds, everything is just off. But I ended up with 206, and Marvin and Chase got me 42 points. I salvaged a 206 with 6 riders, and I'm still like, oh man, I can't believe Tomac got Sexton there. It cost me 4 points. It's not my fault. There is no reason Dean Wilson misses, but hey, that's what you get for playing it safe. So obviously Benny was out. I didn't want to spend a lot of time on my picks today because it was early and I just had other things I wanted to do today. So I just made a roll where I was like, all right, you're only changing one rider from each class. Don't think too hard about it. So Benny was out. I had to replace him, and I just was like, Dean qualified pretty well. If it gets wet, Dean's good. Dean will stay up. Dean will get in. No problems. Until he didn't. Do you guys think Dean would have made it through the LCQ if he only went down once instead of twice? Oh, Michael. Oh, no, dude. 115? Ouch. Who hurt you? The worst problem is I never even had, like, an alternate team. I wish I could be like, oh, I wish I would have taken out Owen and put in so-and-so. Like, no. Forgot about Dean. Oh, you know what's interesting though? What's interesting, Greg, and I think that it's something to be said, and obviously I don't agree with it. I don't agree with this at all, but you know what's going to be said. Why is it that, and I know Kenny followed Dean for a lap. It's a little different, but is Cade gonna get flack like Dean got? I hope he doesn't. I had Owen Hill and oh god, man. And Anstey was a great pick too. Anstey was such a good pick. I was upset that I couldn't pick Anstey because I had him last week, and like obviously it works out for me because I still think he's gonna do very well. I think he's gonna do really well next week. 2 days from now, 3 days from now, and I can pick him. So at least there's that. At least I got that going for me. Took a chance on Hill. He went backwards on the track. He was backwards, Craig. I didn't see that. I mean, no offense to Josh Hill, but I knew that he was going to be a chalky pick. I knew that there were going to be people really interested in him, and I was just never not once interested in him. I don't have a good reason. I don't have like I knew better. This class is just too stacked for people to just come in off the couch like that. You know what I mean? Sexton was getting caught anyway. Chad, do you think that there was no chance that Sexton could have fought off Tomac? What a good race though. I was about to tweet it, but then the Cade thing happened, so I deleted it because I knew it'd get buried. But Cooper Webb got passed twice. Clean. Cooper Webb does not get passed. I know Clinton Fowler, 3 laps down, did a feature about it, that Cooper Webb is the only person the entire season to have not been passed. Like, he has moved forward every race, and I think that technically he's gonna net 0 because I think he started. I think he was second out of second around the first corner, so he did technically get a -1. But do you think Cooper just let them go by? Because he was like, he didn't need it, and I'm sure that his mechanic probably told him that Roxon's in literally 19th place. I need to go back and watch the start because I wasn't watching for Ken, but like, how the hell was he 19th off the gate? I thought he'd get it. No way. Okay. I picked Hill with my heart and not my head. Michael, what do I teach you? What do I do here? What are we doing here? Does anyone know what happened? Samuel, I don't, and I know a lot of people thought like, oh, Freeze probably parked Anstey, and I'm like, where it was on the track was a really weird spot that it looks like it was probably a traction issue. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they accelerated too hard out of that corner and then kind of crossed back and they hit. But yeah, I agree, Webb, because Webb doesn't need to win anything. Webb needs to stay on 2 wheels, and Roxon needs him to get parked. Tomac was making too much time on Sexton. It's fair. And that's fair. This feels so weird. It's only 6 o'clock. Like, I don't even know what to do. This show, I feel tired because I feel like I'm about to do this and go to bed, and that's not what's happening. Um, Anybody pick FFLs? I'm so excited to see what the numbers are. Also, Ferrandis catching and getting Plessinger at the end. I'm pretty sure Ferrandis was buried at the beginning of the race. And now I have to go look because I want to say that he was way back. What was he on the lap chart? 15th, dude. Ferrandis, here you go. Ferrandis was 15th. Oh my God. Ferrandis was 15th across the first finish line and finished 5th. You might be like, yeah, but Roxon started 19th. Roxon was 10th at the end of the first lap and finished 9th. So Ferrandis caught and passed Roxon and gapped him and passed 5 more guys. That's crazy. Crazy. No chance on FFL based on the weather. And you would have been right. I mean, I doubt anybody picked Thrasher. People probably picked AP. Just because something works, this is just useful information for you guys in general. This will definitely help make you feel better about not picking somebody, but just because somebody does good doesn't mean that it was a good pick. There are a lot of picks that turned out well that are not good picks. Freddie Noren, 46 points, probably not a good pick. Props on anybody that picks Savachi. I mean, 8th is really his ceiling, but I didn't have a lot of faith on him there. Marty came through for a lot of people. Oldenburg looked really good. Chisholm was running up there for a minute. I saw somebody tweet that he was in 9th at some point. He held up Kenny for 2 laps, dude. But I was like, nah, Chiz is gonna end up 15th, 16th place, and that's where he ended up. That's what I said on the video. Did anybody pick Chiz? Did anybody Chiz this round? I talked to somebody about potentially having a guest on the show. So not tonight. It didn't come through tonight, but maybe we'll have that. Maybe we'll have that for another race if that's something you guys would be interested in. I don't know how to do it because my favorite part about doing this show is that I get to talk with you guys directly rather than talking to like a guest on the phone kind of thing. But I'm definitely up for trying it if it's something that you guys are looking for. Can we talk about Cade Clayson? I know I recommended him, and if you guys watched the video, you probably already knew, but he was 1 corner away from making 5 mains in a row. What a guy. Like, I'm so stoked for him. I just hope he doesn't get beat up too much on the... God, I almost have to go to the Vital forums right now. Do any of you guys frequent the Vital forums? I'd Clayson this week. Look at you guys go. I didn't pick him because he goes against my Marks, thank you for being the fastest coder in the business. Coder, can we call it coder? Who the hell picked Nate Thrasher? Why would you do that? Who is this man? Who picked Thrasher? How many people? Okay, I have to look. How many people played? 10,764 people set their lineup. 10,764 people. Okay. Then, of that, 12.4% of them picked it. And of those, 0.1% people picked Thrasher. So that means that there is exactly one idiot out there. One person, maybe two. It's 1.34 is the fraction. So either one or two people picked Nate Thrasher. How? One person. Marks, can you tell me if this is too much work, never do anything I ask of you, but can you tell me if that one person did well otherwise? Lee Diffie loves the other four-wheel references no one cares about. Also, I love I say I love Lee Diffie. I don't mean it as like I like him more than a lot of other people that would be better suited for the job. But I think Lee does a good job. But why does he call every 250 rider young? He's like, oh, young Mitchell Harrison. I'm like, I mean, when you have Ryan Sipes in the field, I guess everybody's young. Everybody is the young Mitchell Harrison or the young Nate Thrasher. But that's not, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'd call everybody young when you have literal teenagers out there right now. You know what I mean? Todd is better. They go from live coverage or pre-recorded footage during the race. They go from live coverage to pre-recorded footage during the race. I don't particularly like Todd either, if I'm being honest. I don't think we'll ever be satisfied with anybody. I mean, even if they gave us, like, I don't know, what does everybody want? Everybody wants, like, Fro and Wygant or whatever. And, I don't know, like, you could give us that and people would still be like, oh, yeah, but I don't know. Greg, I wish I could tell you the logic here, but I will tell you, I will say, there are people back here that literally, purposely pick people that are gonna do bad. Like this guy specifically picked guys not racing. I don't know what he gets out of it. I don't know what he gets out of attempting to pick the worst team. Because like Gaines, Fonville, Crown, Osborne, Hill, and Bogle were all out. They get something. There's always somebody that they're literally trying to score as little as possible. Like, that's the fun game that they're playing. But the worst part is that some of these picked actual teams. Like Dingle, sorry Dingle001 if you're in here. Harmon, Fry, Owen, Anstey, Benny, and Josh Hill is not a bad team. And Cooper and Roxon are good picks for FFL. And he got 38 points, honestly. And like Amelina, Cantrell, Drake, Fry, Anstey, Bloss, and Hill. Like, these are real teams. Somebody really picked their team and got 34. Person who picked Thrasher got 162, picked 4 All-Stars in each class, including AC. Hey, I mean, 162 is not bad. That's pretty close to the average, right? 182. Okay, not that close. Close, but not that close. Somehow with 6 in the main, I actually managed to move up 31 spots. I think my top 100 finishes, the door is closing though. I need 2963. I'm 95 points out of the top 100 now. That's gonna be a hard You know what's crazy is I say that's going to be a hard makeup, but if I would have picked just 2 riders that made the main this time, that would have been enough. That would have made me up almost to the top 100. Like, just so you guys know, that's how close it is. If I would have picked Harrison, which I did have a brief consideration to pick Harrison. If I would have picked Harrison instead of Owen, and if I would have picked Cade instead of Dean, I would be in the top 200 that quick. 300 spots on 2 riders. That's how close this game is. Like, I just don't think people understand how incredibly difficult it is to be this guy in first. Like, you have to be consistently great the whole year. His worst score of the year is what, 186. He has 1 score under 200. And he's been in the top 100 championship league 3 times. Like, that's crazy. Starting block segment by Rut during the... Oh my god, the starting block. And the thing with me, Chad, and okay, the starting block was bad. But there was a point where they had Rutledge on, and I don't hate Rutledge like a lot of you guys do. It's not his fault. He's just doing his job. But there was a point when they had... They cut to having Rutledge... in the picture, but they didn't have anything for Rutledge to show. They just showed us Rutledge standing by the track, and he was kind of pointing, but we couldn't really tell what he was pointing at. And I'm like, why do we need to see him? Why do we need to see any of this trackside people? Also, why was Roxon's last lap his fastest? That's a good question. Yeah, I see that now. It was his only one in the 141s. To be fair, I mean, he was in the low 142s a couple times. Wow, only 12 laps for Roxon. Yeah, meanwhile, Ferrandis only had 1 lap over 142. And Roxon only had 4 under 143. That's crazy. I thought Science of Supercross was very good this race. Yeah, I'm a little torn because I agree, but it also was a little not... How do I say? It was a little less Supercrossy. Like, the reaction time thing was fine, but I would have liked to have seen them actually do some tests. It would have been neat to have your average Joe Rutledge versus McGrath versus Hammaker and do some tests of, like, identifying dots or something. But them just explaining it didn't really do it for me like normal, if that makes sense. Also, I mean, can I ask why we don't consider this Roxon's gonna Roxon at this point? Like, Roxon throwing it away late season, drifting off into space every single season late. Why don't we expect this the same way that we expect Marty's gonna Marty and Chiz is gonna Chiz and all these other things? We know Jordan Smith's gonna wreck and get hurt. Like, we know all these things, but for some reason with Roxon, we think that there's hope. We continue thinking that there's light on the other side of the tunnel and that we're going to get there and Roxon's he's going to make it. He's going to do the thing, but he's not going to do the thing. It's not going to happen. Stop trying to make Roxon champion happen. Do you think Webb was playing smart? Natalie, 100%. 100%. Because we talked about it earlier, like, he never gets passed. That's one thing about Cooper Webb is you do not pass Cooper Webb. And the fact that he let Sexton and Tomac by almost without too much of a fight. He just wanted to stay on 2, which is a great idea. The only way Cooper Webb loses this title now, I don't even think he has to fall down and have a bad race. He needs to DNF. He has to literally be laying on the side of the concrete. That's all there is left. The Austin MX National started in 2 hours and there was a free live stream. Greg, that's rad. That's awesome. Greg, are you in Australia or do you just like the OSX stuff? Thought that same. Yama, same. I don't think it's physical. I really don't. I think it's mental. I think it's 100% mental. It's a confidence issue. I don't know. It's just a mojo issue. Hour 20 actually. No, that's fine. That's fine. So it starts at 8 o'clock. That's cool. Also, WrestleMania. I'm not like a wrestling shill or anything, but in case anybody wants to know, you can get WrestleMania free on the Peacock app. So if you guys have Peacock and you want to watch WrestleMania, you might not know that, but the entire WWE network is on Peacock. So I live in Illinois, but I follow Joel Evans vlogs and race. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. But yeah, if you guys want to watch the OSX, OSMX, not OSX, that's different. Have any of you guys ever won a prize? From fantasy moto in any capacity, whether it be through Pulp or through Rocky Mountain or anything like that. If has anybody won anything? I got I lose like $25 for Industry Idiots because I like tied for 5th one week, and then I won like 20 or $30 worth of Rocky Mountain gift cards for playing Rocky Mountain Fantasy, but that's pretty much a joke. I hate to say it, like, you can still play it, it's still worth playing, it's just not. There's really no science behind it. I'm a loser. Piston Kit from Pulp. I don't have a dirt bike. Oh, Sam, that sucks. Did the yeah, I saw something on Twitter. I saw people on Twitter talking about the broadcast, but no, the broadcast was perfect on Peacock. So I was like, I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know what's happening. I won a pair of socks for 6th. Nice. You know what's funny is I actually did pretty decent on Rocky Mountain this week, and I didn't even set my lineup. It's just my lineup from last time. That's how good I am at the game, is that my lineup from last week was actually pretty close. I had Webb winning, which he didn't. I had Tomac second, which he didn't. But I had Chase in 5th, Anderson in 4th, which he nailed, and I even picked Tickle for 14th, which he nailed. So that goes to show you how much thought to put into that. 1 Idiots 1 week, 300 and a heart rate monitor. Guess I gotta start working out and shit. B-Hood, that's awesome, dude. Congrats. You know what's crazy is have any of you guys ever ridden with a heart rate monitor on? I have like a Fitbit watch, and I went riding one time, and the worst was, so I went down. It wasn't even bad. I like slid out. It wasn't bad, but obviously when it was in a bad spot of the track. So I was trying to like get up really quick, and it was like 85, 90 degrees out, and I was out there all day, so I was hot and I was sweating. I was already tired, and then you go down and you're trying to pick the bike up really quick, and I don't have electric start, so then I'm also trying to kick the bike on the side of the thing, and you're struggling, and it's hot. And like, man, my heart rate was like 190 for 10 minutes. And I wasn't even riding. That was just like me trying to get back to riding. It was crazy. It's crazy how much stress riding can put on your body. Even just driving, like I have a sports car, and just driving spiritedly puts your heart into the fat burning zone. And I'm like, that's your problem. That's people's problems. They think you have to lift weights and you have to do cardio and stuff. No, man, just go out on an automobile and have fun. That's what'll raise your heart rate. Hey Marks, when's that app coming? Is it on like national back order? I feel like the app is gonna be like Elder Scrolls 6 or the Game of Thrones books finishing. Like, I feel like we're hitting that territory. K-Bike. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I hope you're doing well. I hope you got some work done. Oh, there you go. Yeah, Chad, you nailed it. I hope you were able to get some good work done. Not having to dick around with Supercross for 3 weeks. I broke down trail riding and had to push the bike 2 kilometers. I had a heart rate on and it was scary. Isn't it crazy, Yama? Like, and you don't even realize that you're doing it. You don't even realize that you're working that hard until you do, and then you're like, wow. Do I have any MX simulator players in here? I actually snagged a copy of the game a couple weeks ago. I haven't played and I haven't really played since the break because I've been busy doing other stuff. So it's heads up, by the way. Glad I have you guys all here so I can talk about it. This next week is going to be hell for me. It's my busiest week of the year for my business, for like my real job. All the way up until Sunday. Sunday is the big day. Like Sunday's the day where I'm going to be the busiest. I'm going to have to go out to a convention and be in the hot sun, like on my feet, whatever, for, 16 hours or something like that. And it's just in like leading up to it and getting everything ready. For any of you guys that own your own business, you know how much that can be. So just a heads up that like, I'm going to still have the videos and the podcast out for Patreon and all that stuff done, but they're probably going to be a little underwhelming compared to normal because I'm probably just not going to have as much time as normal to devote to it. And depending on how I feel, Sunday's race I think is late, and I don't know, or is it Tuesday's that's late? I don't think I'm going to be able to do the after show on Saturday. Anyone know what happened to Mookie? Nick, I wish that they would let us know what happens to any of these riders when they go down instead of them literally just vanishing off of the scoreboard. And again, like, what would it hurt for them to put the whole race on a 10-second delay? So that, and then even put Lee and Ricky on a 10-second delay, and that way, or if they already do 10, then make it 20. Go to the fantasy dashboard, bro. Oh, you're right. It does say it down here, doesn't it? Wow, look at that. Look at that right there. Man. Here I am making my work harder. But yeah, I wish they would tell us what happened to Mookie. And it's not just Mookie. And like, not that I wanted to see Kenny because the battle up front was great between Sexton and Tomac and Plessinger and Webb. But wasn't it weird that they didn't show him once? I don't think they... No, they showed him one time when he was behind Chiz. But that was in the first 2 laps. And it's really weird because normally they're all over showing Kenny and stuff. I just feel like they really had a missed opportunity this week. With them being on NBC, like being on the big network, they definitely had a real big missed opportunity. I just don't think they really presented it the way they could have. And that's such a bummer, you know? They're on about 25 seconds from live timing on AMA. Like, is that from them to... Is that from, like, live timing to them? Or is that from live timing to them back to us? Is 25 seconds. I watch it on PC, and my delay is atrocious. I am a solid minute behind the live timing on Pulp. Like, I have to minimize the Pulp scoreboard. Otherwise, it, I get the whole race spoiled for me. I know who got FFL before the race even starts sometimes. Can we talk about AP? Man, I do not want to drag this man. But did that not look like the same thing that AC did in Vegas in 2019? Like the AP move was just not good. I switched from Peacock to YT TV today and gained over a minute. And normally I wouldn't hate it, B-Hood. Like, I don't need to be live. Like, if it wasn't that it makes it so that I can't watch the Pulp dashboard. Because I don't want to get spoiled. Did anybody have Robbie Wageman on their team? Team Solitaire wants to know if anybody had Robbie Wageman on their team. Which, by the way, if you guys do not follow Team Solitaire on Twitter, YouTube, everything, please go and follow Team Solitaire. They're one of the only teams in the pits that are actually out here trying to be a real team, trying to communicate like a real team. They were the first ones 3-4 hours before gate drops to say Hardy Munoz will not be riding. He will not be racing. They put out good videos. They have great sponsors. Always responsive. Always like willing and able to respond back to anything you have to say to them. I have to stay off Twitter during the race if I'm watching on Peacock. I didn't have Robbie because I had him last week. Okay. Yeah, they just asked because I don't know if you guys saw or not, but he made it through the heat. He got 5th. And then the AMA penalized him 6 spots because he went off the track at the start and they said that he got an advantage. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it. But I didn't see anybody have like an egregious advantage at the start. So I don't think it was that bad of a gig, but it's possible that it was punishable, but I didn't think it was too bad. What was our 0%? Do you guys ever want to see the numbers that I do? Or how I do the cheat sheet stuff? So what I'll do is I actually have a spreadsheet, shocker, with all of the races and then the stats, and I actually enter them all in manually because I'm an idiot. Who ended up taking the league? Benny Watt back on top. Bobby Light 370Z led the week, or led the race. I'll put this back over here to look at it. He had Styles, McAdoo, Mitchell Harrison, and Sipes. That's the team I should have had. I thought about it. Eli, Sexton, Marty, and Marvin. I never had Marty on my team. Never, not even once ever. How did the admins do? That's always a fun game to play. Who's gonna be mad today? Oh, math. Oh, you guys were all close, though. Cantrell, Mumford, 2 zeros. Interesting that Steve made sure to let us know that he picked Clayson and A-Ray when they did good, but he did not let us know that he picked Cantrell and Mumford when they did bad. Interesting. I see you. JT had... Did JT win? No, Paul won. Good for Paul. Cooper, Harrison, Sipes, and Styles, Tomac, Anstey, Sexton, and Tickle. It's a good team. I actually talked to Paul right before, well, not right before, a couple hours before picks locked, and we talked about it. And then he was supposed to let me know he was going to talk to, Marks, it didn't work because I was in this. This doesn't show me teams. I like to do my things the way I do them. Do you want me to look at your team? Is that what you want? No, I know. Choose the event and do it. But then I have to go back if I want to see the rest of it. And if I click on you and then I hit back, it takes me back. No, my team sucks. Does it? How bad? Let's take a look, see. Cantrell, man, you all fell for that bait. Y'all fell for it. All of y'all fell for it. Jay Sagron, hi, what's up, man? It's good to see you. Good to see you in chat. I followed Steve on Cantrell. And I'm not gonna lie, like I picked Cantrell on Moto, what is it? Moto Extreme 360. I don't remember. Moto Extreme 360. He needs a little work on the name. I picked him on that one, but on that one, I don't know if any of you guys play it, but it's based on salary. So I spent $95,000 of my like $4 million on putting Cantrell as my last guy. Cause like, yo, if he makes it, he makes it. If he doesn't, I only spent $95K on him. I was gonna have a really good team until Anstey went down. So I ended up with 91 points, which is not great. Not great. That was good for, oh God, I didn't make the top 100. 92nd place, apparently, out of 184. Thoughts on the salary system? Marks, I really, really like, and I mean no disrespect when I say this about Denny, but I think that the salary system of Moto Extreme is the perfect, I don't want to say the perfect fantasy, like Pulp isn't good. Pulp is great for those of us that hardcore follow the sport with handicaps, and it's a lot of risk and reward and things like that. And where Rocky Mountain is so stupidly dumb and random and luck based, I think the salary system where everybody scores their normal points, like no handicap, like you score where you score, but you pay for them, is that nice middle ground that is definitely more strategic than Rocky Mountain, but I'm not making spreadsheets for it like I am Pulp. I'll usually look at it and then I can spend maybe 10, 20 minutes tops doing a little bit of research and then I send it. Does that make sense? Losing Anstey hurt bad. He looked good. He really did though. He really did though. So if you, Marks, if you ever want to talk about it, if you ever want to like chat about it or voice chat about it or whatever, let me know and I'll tell you, like, I'll give you more insight on what I think. But I really do like it. It reminds me a lot more of like how the F1 fantasy goes. I don't know if any of you guys play F1 fantasy, but same with that. The F1 fantasy could be really good if they just fine-tuned it a little bit. I just think we need a we need a middle ground fantasy, and I think what Denny Stevenson has with the Moto Extreme 360 is a really good idea. You can just tell that like he just doesn't have the like acumen to really make it flourish. But I don't know. But it's not like I don't think I could do better per se. But I think that's where Pulp, obviously Pulp has a huge advantage of having an entire show tied around it, so you constantly have new people coming in and becoming aware of the game. How many players did we have? I didn't look. Did our player count go up or down? I mean, I know it went down. How bad? 10,764. Ooh. I knew it was going to happen because of the break. We always lose players. Like, dude, last year we lost like half the players when we went from the Salt Lake break, but that break was massive. So I knew that we were bleeding players, but not by much. We only lost 63 players between round 11 and 12, but then we lost a full 1,500 people did not set their lineup here. How many of them were in the championship league though? The amount of people that pay for the league and don't follow through is crazy to me. Early start. True. And Marks, and I said it everywhere I could. I hate it. I love you guys because I know nobody in this chat does it, but the amount of messages I get, they're like, oh, I wish I would have known Bloss was out. And I'm like, I posted on Twitter. I posted on Instagram. I put it on the Instagram stories. I put it on the Twitter fleets. He's clearly not on the cheat sheet. I don't know what else I could do without personally texting somebody that the person is out. All right, so we're probably getting close. 62-43. Man, Dingle is in the championship league too. So 62-43. So we lost 1,500 people, but only about 500 of those were championship league people. You'll never be able to help anyone. There's only so much you can do. We're not going to send text alerts when we find out someone is out. Oh, I know. Like, it's just... Oh, and then, like, even then the schedule, like, I put that the schedule was in the video. I posted the schedules on Twitter. I know you guys posted that the schedule was early on Twitter. There's only so much we can do. Who were the highest picked and how did they do? Sexton, Tomac, Anstey, and, well, people probably don't run two. We'll say Davalos. So the most common 450 team, if you would have just picked the easy picks, the common picks, you would have ended up with, what, 68, 75, 105, 450 points. 175, 201. 201. The most common team would have got you 201 points if you would have picked just the most common picks. We need push notifications for each rider stats. Yeah, we need an injury report thing where you manually go into Pulp and you mark that this person is injured. And if I already have them on my team, if they're currently on my team, I need my phone to ding to let me know they're no longer available. I watched the Clayson Sexton incident. You can't see for sure, but it looks like 3 flaggers before the incident weren't giving Clayson a blue flag. Well, and Samuel, I wonder, because I was saying it right before this happened, a couple laps before this happened. It was amazing to me that everybody was still on the lead lap. With 7 minutes to go, to be fair, it was a shorter main event. So we'll say with 9 minutes to go. So we were over halfway before the leader caught their first lapper. Anstie and Freeze were out, so the first person up was A-Ray. And I was like, wow, this is so weird not having a single lapper for the first, 11 minutes of the race or whatever. And even then, Sexton only lapped, what, up to Cade? So he only lapped 6 people or less, because 2 of them were DNFs. So he lapped, that's 250s. He lapped A-Ray, Moran's, Norn, and Clayson. He only lapped 4 people. And that was enough, and the 4th one got him. So I wonder if maybe the blue flag guys were sleeping because there was so little lapping going on out there. You can also set up alerts on Twitter for Roto and Mathis on race day. It's not hard and it works. B-Hood word. I try to keep my tweeting down to a minimum, not on race day. Does anybody else... I'm not going to throw any pages under the bus because I probably am annoying to you too. But does anybody else have to mute certain pages because they post way too often on race day, like things that are not necessary? Like I don't need play-by-play of the race because I'm watching it. And I will literally mute these pages during race day, but sometimes I'll forget to unmute them when the race is over. So then I miss all their posts. And I wonder how many other people are like me that you specifically mute or don't follow these publications because you're so tired of getting pinged over and over and over all day. And the worst thing is because it's not chronological, the algorithm favors, where sometimes something that they posted 10 minutes ago will come up on my feed now, and it'll say something about somebody going down, or somebody making a pass, or somebody up to a position, and then I'm so confused because they shouldn't even be there. They're nowhere near there. How did they possibly run into each other? And then I'm like, oh, because their tweet was from 10 minutes ago. And that's not what we're looking for. I can't believe how many zeros I have, man. I had 1 0 before Arlington. And now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 zeros. And Marvin got me 2 points one time, so that's as good as a 0. I scanned them after the race. Oh, like you scanned the posts after the race to see like what happened or whatever? What I would love, and I don't know if this is legal or not. I don't see how it's not legal because you're not making money on it. But I would love if somebody that's there, maybe one of the team guys, just film an overhead of the entire mains, the 250 and 450 mains, and put them on YouTube so that you can just have a, oh, what happened to Mookie? He went down on lap 8. What happened? And you can just like scrub that on lap 8. And they're going to be hard to see because they're going to be all dots, but you can at least see the dots and know, okay, that's Malcolm. How is Malcolm, like what happened to Malcolm on this lap? Oh, there he went off the track or whatever. I'm on WhatsApp with a few friends in our own private league. We are trash talking and it's a hoot. Yama, it's definitely a lot of fun. Yeah, we do that in the Discord. So if anybody is a member of the Patreon and you're not already on there, first off, let me tell you about the Patreon. If you guys want more, if you want to support the channel, or even more so, if you really want to get like all the information you could possibly imagine, make your picks on, join the Patreon. And then people that are part of the Patreon have access to our Discord server. And it is, I'd say there's 15 of us maybe in there. There's usually 5 or 6 people that are there every race day. And beforehand, before the race, we're usually talking about, what do we see out there? What did we see during qualifying? What do you think on these numbers? Like going back and forth and actually literally hashing out. And we did one, the one Marvin wrecked on, was that Arlington 2? That Marvin wrecked, or he pulled off early. And we all collectively as a group talked each other out of picking Marvin. Because all of us were like, yeah, Marvin's probably a good pick. And then we were all like, nah, but he's hurt. If he gets out there and he's just a little bit uncomfortable, he could just pull off because there's no repercussions for doing so. And we all pulled off of Marvin. And then what do you know? He did. He got 3 points and we dodged it. It would cost NBC pennies to put a drone in the air with full field coverage. Would be better than hearing RC and Diffie say, I don't know what happened to so-and-so. This just doesn't happen. And I know that like other sports are an exception. And in F1, there's a camera in the car. So at minimum, we at least have the camera on the car. But there's no other sport where the championship contenders can have an issue and we just straight and don't know about it. It's ridiculous. Hope all goes well next week. Marks, I really appreciate it. I'm very stressed. I'm very stressed right now. I need to make Roto a full-time gig so I can quit doing the other thing that I do because I absolutely loathe every moment about it. Oh, has anybody else ever, if you guys ever started a business or done any kind of project where you make money and stuff, and it's always so much fun at first. It's always so much fun. I recommend to anybody, if you have an opportunity to start a business, please try it. Please try. Because it's fun and it's very rewarding. Everybody should try it once, but it's definitely just not for me like that. Because when the passion goes, it's a lot harder to just quit it and find another job. Because my passion is definitely gone. But, yeah, I have. It can be rough, man. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the show today. It's 7 p.m. It's hot outside, and I want to go outside and have a little bit of fun. I wish I could go ride, but it's obviously a little bit late for that. I will see you guys on Tuesday. Is it a late race? Does anybody know? It's a 7 o'clock race on Tuesday, right? I will use the Pulp website function. 7 o'clock on Peacock. I believe it's a 10 o'clock delay on NBCSN. I think that's what it is. But I will see you guys on Tuesday. Look for the video Monday night, as always, the day before. It's probably going to be a low edit because it's such a quick turnaround time. I hope that Paul and them get the handicaps out fast so that I can get working on the video fast. But obviously, as always, we're at the mercy of the handicap setters. But I will see you guys video on Monday, race on Tuesday, and then immediately after the race, we'll do another live show. Hopefully, it'll be a little bit more. I'll have more to talk about when it's nighttime. The daytime just feels a little bit weird. But thank you guys as always for tuning in and supporting. My name is Donnie. This has been RotoMoto, and I will see you next race day. Take care, guys.